Welcome back. And next we have Helen Mack, our optimism coach here in the fourth in the series of optimizing outcomes. And she's talking to us today about maintaining an optimistic mindset. Helen.
Hi, Linda.
Welcome back. So tell us more about how we can do that.
So we've been talking about this whole idea of optimizing outcomes, and the mindset is one of the foundation pieces. But it's really great to get your clarity right first and then get into momentum. And then as you're maximizing your momentum, it's important to maintain an optimistic mindset. And the key here is about optimism as a power to help you achieve greater outcomes. So optimism, the baseline word comes from the Latin optimus, which means the search for the good or the search for the best possible. And your viewers may remember our conversation about best possible in the first session. So an optimistic mindset allows us to take a different approach. Generally speaking, when we're looking at the world, I think we've been taught the wrong spectrum. Most people have been taught about positive thinking. But what most people think is that we're supposed to somehow be happy all the time. Bad news, life's not like that. We have ups and downs, we have tough times, and even as a professional optimist, I have bad days. The difference is that if you're looking at the positive thinking solution, then when you have a bad day, the reaction tends to be, now look, don't panic, don't stay calm, it's all fine, and then you need to just kind of chill out and think nice thoughts and everything will be okay. When we come across obstacles, they need to be something that's part of the reality that we're ready to cope with. So we still have bad days. Even you and I, who focus on this a lot, have days where you go, oh, it's just really, really hard today. The next step is the reality check step. And the reality check is 3 pieces. If you and I were going on a trip and we wanted to make sure that we get there in the nicest possible way, there are 3 things we need to identify. Where are we now? Where are we going? And what's the best way to get there? The optimistic mindset is exactly the same thing. Where am I now? What's going on in my world? What is it that I want to achieve? Going back to our clarity conversations of earlier. And then where do I want to end up? Given that we know that there may be detours and adjustments along the way, what's the ultimate goal currently? And then what's the best method for me to get there, including thinking about my resources? Now, resources might be physical resources, but they also might be people or time or money or effort or energy, so a variety of resources. Where am I now? Where do I want to go? And what have I got on my team, on my side, to get me there? Having done that, we then do the what's possible, best possible conversation that we covered in the first session, so that we can identify the best possible way to take action on that goal. And built into that is this idea that along the way, if we keep making choices around optimism, choices around best possible, then that conscious choice opens things up for us. We're more likely to see and seize opportunities that come along versus being closed to, no, I'm just going to do this. An optimistic mindset is also about opening our eyes to everything that is around us and seeing how can we get the best possible outcome from all of those things.
I suppose into that comes appreciation. Would that be right? Appreciation for what you're taking note of that? Would that be a valid
very much so.
point?
So appreciation of the journey, appreciation of the steps that you've managed to take, appreciation of the people around you. Gratitude is a very big part of an optimist's mindset. So being grateful and, very importantly, expressing that gratitude. So one of the ways to maintain an optimistic mindset is to be grateful for where you are and to express gratitude for the people around you who helped you get there. Another element of the optimistic mindset is learn from every experience. We're going to have some good and some bad, and we can learn from both of them. So learn from every experience is another element of the principles of maintaining an optimistic mindset. I think one of the other things that sometimes happens is that people kind of beat themselves up if there's not a learning. That's okay. It can just be a thing that happened, and we can process it and say, okay, I'm just going to learn not to do that again. That's enough of a learning. We don't have to have some kind of great revelation after we've had a bad experience.
And Helen, how does maintaining the mindset actually help us to optimise opportunities in our lives?
Lovely question, Linda. The thing about opportunities is that our ability to respond to those opportunities is very much about where our mindset is. So if we go right back to the first session around not possible, if an opportunity comes across our path and we go, oh, that's not for me, or that's not possible, or I can't do that, then we get closed down to that opportunity. An optimistic mindset says, what part of this might work for me? Is there something in here that I could do for a learning opportunity, for someone else that I care about, for a cause that matters to me? So as a very quick example, when I moved to Trentham with my late husband, the local Great Trentham Spudfest was struggling. It was closed down. The people who were running it had kind of made it small. And an opportunity arose for me to become the big spud. I could have said, look, I'm just going to leave that to someone else. But I was new in the town, and I could see that this festival had great opportunities to bring everyone together. So it was an opportunity for me to practice my collaboration skills, to get more connected into the town. And over the next couple of years, I expanded the festival so that it's now a 4-precinct, whole of village, everyone involved, and a whole number of different ways to celebrate the potato, which is so critical to my hometown community. The optimistic mindset allowed me to keep asking, what's possible? What's the best possible outcome? Who should I bring in? So I used the clarity questions as well as the not possible, what's possible, best possible pieces of the optimistic approach to optimizing outcomes. Isn't that a lot of O's? And what it meant was that I had opportunities that I would never have had to connect in with my community and to make a difference to a whole bunch of people that I really like. So my recommendation to your viewers is, when you're faced with an opportunity that feels a bit big, just use that creating clarity step and then ask the what's possible question. What's possible for me? What's the best possible outcome? And then just take that tiny wee step forward.
Wonderful, wonderful. That first step's always sometimes the hardest and can be the
most
simplest.
Important.
Yeah. Wonderful, thank you. And we'll go to break now. And if you'd like more information on Helen Mack and maintaining an optimistic mindset, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. See you back next time with Helen on Taking Action. Welcome back, and we have Dr. Zara Chelik back with us, our integrative health and wellness expert, and today she's talking to us about stress management. So Zara, stress management, can you tell us a bit more about managing stress? We have, I'm sure, many viewers who experience stress in their daily lives. We hear about it all the time.
So there are two types of stress. We've got the new stress and there's a chronic stress. New stress is actually beneficial. It helps us to produce outcome and meet a deadline, and it helps us to push through that boundary, that challenge, and get an amazing outcome. Then there is a chronic stress. And again, with chronic stress or stress in general, our perceptions also come into playing a role. So, there could be an event and we both will perceive it completely different and react completely different, and our physiology will be completely different, and along with the biochemistry for both of us. So it really also comes down to our perceptions, right, when it comes to stress. The other thing is our language. That's a big one. It plays a big role as to how we perceive daily, day-to-day tasks, or the language that we use in our work environment, with people around in our circle, with our loved ones, because that whole language can shift so much in our physiology, in our biochemistry, as well as our psychology. So really, we can, for example, I can just right now say, I have to cook, or I can say, I get to cook. Can you see how my physiology, my body just shifted along with that? So with the word, how I use my language with the second one, I get to, that's what gratitude, that's coming in. When we have that gratitude coming in, the language is different. It's not really stressful anymore because I'm saying, I get to, and it's divine, it's nice, and my body likes that as well. So that, whether it is the cooking that I'm saying I have to or I get to, whether it is my emails, I have to check my emails. So that task becomes so simple and it is no longer stressful. So number one is language. What language are you using to associate with your daily, day-to-day tasks, activities, or with people around in your circle? So that's a big one. Then, of course, taking care of our physical body as well. Exercise, meditation, the spiritual well-being, spending more time being out in nature, connecting with nature. It helps us to be more grounded, more authentic, more objective. The other thing is making sure that we're not holding on to resentments, we're not judging people. We are conserving our energy to produce amazing outcome, optimum outcomes, sustainable outcomes with things that we do, and we create that leisure and pleasure out of daily tasks and activities. So those things really come handy and very beneficial when it comes to managing stress skillfully. So we're not creating that imbalance in the nervous system, because when there is a chronic stress, there is an effect on our cortisol. There is effect on our hormones. There is effect on our adrenal glands, cortisol levels. We don't want to overdrive that. We don't want to be in the fight and flight mode all the time as if we're really running away from a tiger, a real threat. With the modern world, we tend to create that with the language that we use or with our perceptions as well. So it is important that we are mindful of our language, mindful of the things happening, and to have gratitude and work on ourselves at mind, body, spiritual level to create that balance, to create that equanimity and that equanimity within and that equity between the others as well. So we are not challenged by little things or by people or with it could be at work with a colleague. So we're not feeling challenged because we bring ourselves to be that authentic, objective, creative self. And that plays a big role. Just being that authentic, at all times plays a big role really when it comes to managing stress skillfully. So for those people who are just starting out, I will say start paying attention to the language that you're using. But for the others, they've already been working on that and also working on their well-being at mental level, emotional level, physical level, like exercising or being in nature and things like that, or practicing spirituality. Go to that next level of mastery and work on your mind. So when it comes to working on the mind, it is that immanent and transcend the mind, which I covered in our previous interviews. That is a big one because mind really plays a role in terms of mental well-being, but also overall creating that equanimity, that homeostasis and equilibrium in the cells and within the cells. So that's what I would like to share and give to our viewers.
Wonderful. And would you have any more, just to end the program, your absolute favourite advice for the viewers about stress management?
So as I said, work on your perceptions, really analyse to see, are you making it bigger than it is? So I will say, start paying attention to your language and see whether it is something to make something greater out of it and perceive it as to be stressful? Or is it something that you can say, hey, that's not that crucial, it happened for me, not to me? How is that benefiting me? How is it helping me grow? How is it helping me to thrive and go to next level? So start from there will be what I will really get people to focus and pay attention to.
Well, thank you very much, Zara.
Thank you for having me.
And for more information on Dr. Zara Celik and stress management, then please go to her webpage on our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And now we'll go to break, and after the break we'll be back with more guests and topics. Welcome back, and welcome back Nancy Beckhor, who's here to talk to us today about psychedelics and mind expansion. Welcome, Nancy.
Hello. Well, what's this big interest in psychedelics? World Health Organization has said in 2017 that psychedelic medicine is the greatest, most powerful new field of medicine because people are getting well from things they were never meant to be able to get well with. Now, to speak about this, we need to just go over what I spoke about last time about meditation. Meditation is to calm, make inner peace. It is especially to connect with the inner self, the knowing self, and ultimately leading to your sense of purpose and resolving conflicts that you may have, because guess who knows best about you is you. So as we move on to what I call advanced meditation, is kind of what psychedelics are, except that most of the population accesses that by swallowing plant medicine or plant of herbs, basically herbs. And why do they do it? So mind expansion gets us to answer questions like, why does someone get over a terminal illness and somebody doesn't? Why is somebody luckier than somebody else? My background is physics and chemistry, and I will say to you, there are so many unexplained mysteries in the world. Where does the new technology come from? Where does great art come from? It's said that we only use 3% of our brain power. So people are wanting to access this. But, you know, ingesting herbs is not for everybody.
So, yeah, that's interesting. What about I've noticed in nature there are these unexplained things scientists don't have any explanation for, like water disappearing into nowhere.
Yes, I find it a very exciting time. Physics is almost being turned on its head. They actually say that the physics of consciousness, which is where mind expansion goes, are different laws. And that's where you can get mysterious things happening. You know, you follow coincidences. The kind of coincidences that can occur to a person who's tuned in, high-level meditation, the kind of things that can happen blow your mind, but you don't hear about it on the news. People don't know what to do with these extraordinary happenings. And so nothing is said about it, but the time has come for us to make use of all of our powers. So I'd like to tell you there is a much easier way, which is light technology, which I had spoken about in regards to meditation. But light technology is a much simpler event where you go have a 30-minute session and then you leave fully functional and you begin to integrate what you experienced of maybe the colours, the patterns, and again the mind steps aside and we get genius. This is from whence genius comes. Let's stop doing the same things the same way all the time. So people have travelled everywhere around the world. People are travelling, I mean, soon there's going to be shuttles out in space. But what about the cosmic inner world, the great uncharted territory? It's extremely exciting because it will affect your actual life.
Well, thank you, Nancy. And for more information on Nancy and psychedelics and light technology and meditation, then please go to our website, healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. And next we have Barbara Boldock, who's a community volunteer. Today she's talking to us about volunteering and how positive that is for the volunteers. Welcome, Barb.
Hello.
And I know that you're a grandmother of 21 and a great-grandmother of 3. What are your secrets for staying so young and energetic?
Well, I think what it is that I love people. From a little girl, I always loved people. My mother always taught me, Barbara, take food and give it to the poor people. My mother was a great cook. So a lot of people say to me, Barbara, you're always cooking. Well, that's where I got it from. I got it from my mother. And I just love going out there today, helping people, making them feel happy, because I've got so much energy in my life. And I have a big secret about that. And the more I give out, the younger I feel. And I think that is a big secret in people's life. I do a lot of events for charity, and I just love it. And people say to me, Barbara, you must get tired. But I don't get tired, because the more I'm in touch with people, the happier and the more energy I seem to have. I'm wanting to learn, and that's another big thing in life, to learn. The more you learn, the younger it keeps you. I couldn't work a mobile phone many years ago, and I got to learn that, and then I went and did my computer course, and I'm quite proud of myself, because people at my age, they say, oh, I can't do that, I could never do that. Never say you can never ever do anything. You can do anything you want to do. And they are some of my secrets in my life. I have a lot stored up there also. I love music. I play the piano, and I've played classical music, and I've played modern music, and I also used to dance when I was younger. I wasn't a very good dancer, but I just love going out there and mixing with people. You can only ring me up. I have 3 phones at home, and I put them along the bench, and some days they'll all go together, and I'll put that phone on and that phone on, and people can have a conversation, because I'm such a busy person. I love cooking, and when a person comes home from hospital and they haven't got anybody there, people don't realise that these poor people haven't got a family, and I'll go round with a dinner for them, and it just makes them light up. But not only makes them light up, it makes me feel so much better going home and thinking how blessed I am that I have the energy at this age of my life. I've got a lot of thanks to God.
So Barb, what would be your big takeaway for our viewers today?
To just wake up, thank God you're alive, and get your shoes on and go out there in the community to help other people and make other people happy. And that's my big secret of staying young.
Oh, fantastic. And for more information on Barb and her secrets for staying so young and energetic, please go to our website healthwellbeingandlifestyle.com.au. For now, we'll say bye-bye, and we'll see you next week here on Health, Wellbeing and Lifestyle for more interviews with amazing people sharing their positivity and inspiration.